This reading is all about what it is that you are outgrowing and what you are getting ready for next. So if you want to find out where you are at on your journey of progression, then stay tuned for these messages. We have 3 piles to choose from, and they go as such. This card represents pile number 1. This card represents pile number 2. And this card represents pile number 3. If you can already hear what your intuition is telling you and which pile you feel is calling out to you, then you can go straight into the description box down below and click on the timestamp that you need. But if you are somewhat new to pick a card readings, or you just don't exactly know what you should be listening for, then just a few of my recommendations to go about picking the right pile for you would be to first try and get yourself to a quiet place. So if you are surrounded by any noise or distractions, try and get yourself away from that and really get present in this moment so that you could really tune into what your body is feeling and what it is trying to tell you at this time. So you can close your eyes and take a few deep breaths as well. That may help you to get more centered. And as you open your eyes again, look at the piles and see what is coming up for you in your body. Is it something that you feel? Is there some sort of nudge? Is there something that your eye is drawn to? Or maybe you just sense or hear something? Trust that intuitive voice, however it speaks for you. But as I also always say, please don't forget to use your discernment as you are listening to these general messages. And without further ado, let's jump into it. Hello and welcome to your reading, pile number 1. My name is Helen and I am so very grateful that you have found your way to me, or that you are tuning in again and watching these messages, spending your time with me and just hanging out. So yeah, let's get straight to it. So you chose this card over here, and I am not gonna I'm not even going to try to pronounce this. If I feel my way through it intuitively, what I'm picking up on is that this card is one of making choices, and this compass that is depicted on this card is making me feel that you could be in a space right now where you have to make some sort of decisions. You seem to be at a crossroads where there may be all of these different options that you could go for, and I feel like they all feel good, or they all feel full of potential. It feels like you are struggling to make this decision though, or it's just a bit confusing because you seem to be worried about, not necessarily that you are making the wrong decision, but it just seems to be more so about missing out on other things if you make that decision, because you can't choose it all and you have to let go of some of these options. And that means that you have to sacrifice what those paths could turn into. And I feel like that's where you are really struggling, or that's where the issue is really hidden in. Now, I do feel that there is one option that kind of stands out to you more than the rest, but I feel like there are some sort of complications, or like it's not the easiest path to follow. And so again, there seems to be kind of a difficulty surrounding this decision, or surrounding you choosing this path. And I also feel like as I look at all of these flowers here, I also feel like your decision is being made even more difficult by the fact that there seem to be a lot of opinions here. There seem to be a lot of muddled energy because of what other people are maybe suggesting, or what other people think is the right thing for you, or even if you try and talk yourself into picking the one decision that seems to stand out from the rest, with all of its obstacles and complications and all of that, it seems like there are several people who are maybe trying to talk you out of it, or who are more so emphasizing the negative aspects and all of the what ifs and all of the uncertainties, everything that could go wrong. And it's not very easy to be firm and be confident in the choices that you are making when there is so much that you don't know, and when there aren't that many guarantees. So yeah, it just seems to me that you are in a bit of a pickle, or you are a bit torn, and all you really have to go off of is your intuition. So yeah, that's what I am feeling purely intuitively off of the card that you chose. Now, if you are not 100% sold that this is your pile, then stick around for these oracle card messages, because we are going to get a more detailed description of your current general state of mind. So we are going to be getting, hopefully, more of a clear overview of what it is that you are dealing with mentally, what is going on in your mind, and where your head is at. So yeah, should be making it easier. Okay, so we are starting off with the mystery. Passion ignited. The Duchess's cook. Prosperity begins. Oh, interesting. We have 2 aces. And we have love. Okay. Okay, pile number 1. So let's jump straight to it. With the mystery being the first card out, it seems to pretty much just confirm that you are in a bit of a muddled state of mind right now, where it is kind of difficult to understand where you should go. There seem to be a lot of these different thoughts that are running through your mind, all of these different scenarios that you are picturing, trying to come up with the best scenario that you can think of, and trying to potentially even plan or map out specifically which path would get you to where you ultimately want to go. So it seems like you're almost doing this connect the dots thing in your mind, and trying to figure out what would get you to your most sort of desired destination, and whether this path that you don't know how you are going to get through all of these obstacles and things specifically, like that path that stands out to you, I feel like you're trying to see how you could make it match your dream, or how you could get it to lead you somewhere really powerful and happy and full of contentment. And see, the interesting thing is that we have 2 of these aces, or these number 1 cards. First is Passion Ignited, and the other is Prosperity Begins, which are corresponding to the Ace of Wands and the Ace of Pentacles in traditional tarot terms. And what this is telling me is that there seem to be possibly maybe even 2 concrete options for you, but one of them is definitely one that makes you feel really excited, that lights you up, that sparks something in you, or just brings you enthusiasm, excitement, the sense of wonder, whereas the other could be something that is much more stable, much more safe, or much more predictable, maybe even specifically much more financially rewarding as well. So there could be this aspect of money in it, whereas the other that seems to light you up or spark some sort of passion in you, there may not necessarily be a very clear-cut connection to money, or you may not know exactly how you are going to make it profitable. And also because this Passion Ignited is coming out next to the mystery, so that's why I feel like there are like many more unknowns with this one path that seems to stand out to you, that seems to literally light you up and set your heart on fire. Whereas again, the other one seems to be much more of like a safe option, but it also feels kind of like settling for something, you know? And so we have this center card here with the Duchess's Cook, and this card is all about moderation and not really spicing things up too much, but also trying to figure out where certain spice in your life may be lacking. And so clearly there is this, again, this going back and forth, this trying to make up your mind and weigh the pros and cons of all of these different options in front of you. And again, I find it really interesting how these cards are coming out, or like how they are placed, because with this sort of Ace of Coins coming out right next to this Duchess's Cook, it's kind of making me feel that, again, there is something lackluster about this safe option, even though it may be the smart one or like the safe one, the more conventional one. There is something that is just lackluster. And the final card here, which is Love, seems to indicate that you seem to try to go about choosing based on how all of these options make you feel and what you really want to commit to down the line. So you seem to be, like, again, going about this decision process more so based off of your feelings and your intuition, rather than going off of purely logic or rationale. So yeah, that is what I am feeling from all of these cards. So if you are sure, if you recognize yourself in these messages, then stay tuned, because now we get to the tarot card portion. So let's see what it is that you are outgrowing in your life. Okay, so we have the Six of Pentacles, the Knight of Swords in reverse, and the Four of Cups, with Judgment coming out as the underlying energy. And I am going to also point out the zodiac signs that are here, if the camera would focus. There we go. I'm going to point out the zodiac signs that are here in case you resonate with them on a deeper level, or they are more significant signs in your birth chart, meaning your sun, your rising, or your moon sign. And these signs coming out over here are, we have Gemini with the Knight of Swords and Scorpio with Judgment. Those are the strongest signs here right now. We also have Taurus and Cancer though. Okay, pile number one. So one of the things that you seem to be outgrowing is the tendency to maybe listen to other people's opinions a bit way too much, or maybe place more value on other people's opinion than is really necessary. Because with the Six of Coins and the Knight of Swords, this seems to talk about an energy of trying to, again, hold you back, or trying to talk you out of things, trying to get you to play it a bit more safe, even if it maybe isn't necessarily in your best interests. And I mean, the Six of Coins here is a clear indication that this insight, this guidance, this all of these suggestions, all of it is coming from a good place of people wanting to help you, people wanting to do right by you. But there's something really, really cautious about it. And I feel with this Knight of Swords in reverse, it's like they don't even realize what they are saying or what they are doing. And again, with the Four of Cups, it seems to lead you to a place where you're not necessarily happy. And all of this guidance, or all of these opinions, also seem to derive from a place of their own fears or their own insecurities and their own dissatisfaction with their life, but because they haven't had the guts to actually follow some of their passions and some of these more daring ideas or inspirations that they have gotten, they seem to want to project that onto you as well. And it doesn't seem to, again, it doesn't seem to be something that they are doing intentionally. It seems to be something much more subconscious. And I feel like that's why this Knight of Swords is coming out in reverse as well, is that they are not doing it consciously or not doing it intentionally. And see, the underlying energy being judgment here is talking about the importance of following your own voice, this own inner call, this soul's call, right? Where we have this awakening moment where things just fall into place and there's this undeniable push towards something where we have to level up in our lives, where we have to make certain changes and let something else that we have been used to go. And it is a deeply personal journey. It's not something that other people are able to assist us with. This really seems to be a process of individuation. But now, I also feel that these three cards can talk about a tendency that maybe you yourself have had, where the Six of Coins may talk about your desire to put other people in front of you or put other people's needs in front of your own, and maybe focus a lot of your energy on helping other people deal with their issues and putting a lot of resources into what other people are dealing with. And by doing that, there seems to be not that much energy left for you to deal with your own stuff, right? With this Four of Cups especially, it may have taken you to places where maybe you have missed out on certain opportunities, or where maybe you haven't, again, had the stamina, the energy, the necessary resources to go after something that may actually be very exciting or very fulfilling for you. So yeah, it feels like some of you have sacrificed your own sense of fulfillment or your own sense of happiness because of other people, or where maybe you have felt responsible for other people's happiness or other people's fulfillment. So I don't know, maybe it is more of a specific message. Maybe it's not necessarily going to resonate for a lot of you, but whoever does resonate with this message, then that seems to be something that you are growing out of as well. And now let's move on to what you are getting ready for. So let's see what you are moving towards next, what you are preparing for. Okay, beautiful. So they all kind of flew out on top of each other. The first card out is the Star in reverse, the Five of Coins in reverse, and the Nine of Wands, with Strength coming out as the underlying energy, again in reverse. Sign-wise, we have Leo and Aquarius. We also have more Taurus, as well as Sagittarius. I feel like a lot of this energy that you are getting ready for is about facing certain fears, and especially the ones that have pushed you into playing it safe, into saying no to certain things that were maybe a bit more risky or daunting, but that like caused some sort of stirring in you and that you maybe chose to ignore. Now I'm going to start off with the underlying energy here, because we have this Strength card coming out in reverse, and I'm going to show you the illustration upright because these cards are so beautiful. So I just want to see, I want to show you and let you see what is actually going on the cards. But yeah, this Strength card coming out in reverse is indicating that you are preparing to actually face some of the weaknesses or some of the shortcomings that you have had. And I mean, we all have shortcomings and we all have these weak spots in ourselves, and it's not anything to be ashamed about or to feel down about, but it is useful to be aware of them and to be willing to accept them and, if possible, work on them. And I feel that you seem to be getting to a place where you are definitely ready to look at the past decisions that you have made, especially with this Nine of Wands here. Actually face the journey that you have had up to this point, and look at the things that have led you to where you are. And especially with the Star in reverse and the Five of Pentacles in reverse, it's all about facing these times or looking at the opportunities that you maybe didn't take advantage of, or that you decided not to try. And I also feel like there is a lot of making peace that is going to allow you to, first of all, move on with a lot less baggage, and in a way that you won't have a chip on your shoulder, but also deciding to do things differently this time around. Because I feel, especially with the Nine of Wands, that there is some sort of pattern that you may be discovering where you start realizing why certain situations have come about, or why certain actions have constantly led to the same state of being. And so, especially with the Star in reverse next to the Five of Coins, there is innate healing in the sort of the tough times, or in the times where you have felt lack, or where you have felt like things are not what you want them to be. And yeah, where you have maybe allowed certain fears to get the best of you. And again, I don't know why, but I love this Nine of Wands so much in this instance, because there's just so much like peace, but also this willingness to look at things head on, to acknowledge, to kind of take accountability as well. And so it seems to be this huge growing aspect, or this huge point of development for you. Yeah, it's definitely something to be proud of here, pile number one. But those were the messages coming through. So let's close the reading out with some messages from the message jar. I can't remember when I used it last. Probably not that long ago, but I don't use it that often on my channel. And if you have seen my older videos, then you may recognize this. Hopefully you recognize this. But yeah, let's see what sort of advice through these message jar messages we can get for you from Spirit. Okay. So let's see what we get. We have destruction is a necessary part of the cycle of growth. Okay, I don't know why. I always try to show you these messages, but because they are so tiny, the camera usually doesn't want to focus on them. So I don't know whether you'll be able to see them. Okay, no. But yeah, it says destruction is a necessary part of the cycle of growth. And see, yeah, it's exactly that. Like, you are destroying some of these old paradigms or old beliefs and deeply embedded thoughts about who you thought that you were, or what you thought you are capable of doing. And I feel that there is all of this breaking down of the old and of these past choices that you are not happy with. Yeah, I don't know. It just feels like you are doing a lot in order to move forward in a new way that would lead you to different results this time around. We also have you cannot lose what you've never had. So this is an interesting one here, because I feel like, I feel like one of the things that may be slowing you down in making this decision on this crossroads that you are at is the thought that you are going to lose out on something, right? I think I mentioned something like that at the beginning. And I feel like this one is a really potent message reminding you that if it's just potential, then you are not necessarily losing out on anything, right? So, yeah, I don't know. This is one of those messages where I feel like I don't even have to say that much. because it's kind of self-explanatory. And yeah, I just want to add the message that, which is so cliche, but I feel like it's really important here, that, you know, the things that are truly meant to be in your life and that you are meant to experience on this journey of life in this lifetime, they are definitely not going to pass you by. There is just no way. So you are definitely going to experience what you are meant to experience in one way or another. Okay, we have a quote. I don't want to be remembered, I want to be forgotten. George Costanza, Seinfeld. So this seems to hint at some sort of unrest that you may feel regarding, again, some of the choices that you have made in the past. Yeah, I feel like it may be talking to that. And let's see what the last one is. Keep the momentum going, you're almost there. See, so I do feel that this whole decision-making process that you are in, you already know what you need to do. You already have the answer. It's just about following that intuitive voice, trusting it, trusting that you know exactly what you need to do. And yeah, it feels like Spirit is kind of giving you more encouragement in the sense that you are so close to going through these experiences and I feel like experiencing something really, really cool. So anyway, pile number 1, I am going to leave it here. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I hope that you had fun listening to these messages. And if that's the case, and if you are still here, by the way, then leave me a little heart on fire. Yeah, let's do that. Leave me a little heart on fire emoji in the comment section so that I would know that you made it all the way to this point. I absolutely love connecting with you in the comment section. So yeah, I really hope to see you there. But pile number 1, please take care of yourselves, and I hope to see you back on this channel next Friday for some more messages, insight and fun. And in the meantime, please take care of yourselves. Bye-bye. Hello and welcome to your reading, pile number 2. My name is Helen and I am so excited to do this reading for you today. And I want to thank you for being here and choosing to spend your time with me and hang out. So anyway, let's get straight to the card that you chose, which is this Elder card. And what I'm feeling intuitively off of this card is that I feel like you have made certain discoveries as of late, and those seem to be tied to certain opportunities that are around you right now. Maybe you weren't noticing those before, but I feel like they're not necessarily new things. They just seem to be certain options that you didn't notice before. So it just feels like your eyes have opened regarding some aspects of your life and you are seeing them in a new light. Now, I'm also feeling that some of you may be more spiritually developed or awakened at this time, and maybe you are putting more energy into certain spirituality or like spiritual practices or your own intuition and trying to really like get that sense precise or get more in touch with your own intuition. And for some reason, I'm also feeling like a connection to your roots or your ancestors. And maybe some of you have recently been looking into your lineage and looking into the history of your family, of your background or your upbringing. Maybe you are digging deeper into your childhood. Again, the people that have gone before you. So you could be sort of going down that path as well and trying to make sense that way, seeing why you are the way that you are based on, again, the connections that you have with your ancestors. So there just seems to be this sort of awakening or this realization that you have had about who you are. maybe for some of you, this may be more of a specific message, but for some of you, you may have come across some really surprising information that you didn't expect, or that like changed something, altered something quite profoundly regarding how you see yourself or who you believed yourself to be. And I feel like that may be tied to some of these options that you now have in front of you that maybe you didn't realize were options for you. So there could be a connection that way as well. But yeah, that is what I am feeling intuitively off of this card, pile number 2. If you are not 100% sure that this is your pile, then stick around for these oracle cards, because from these oracle cards, we are hopefully going to get a more detailed overview of your current general state of mind. So these cards should describe what is going on in your mind, what you are thinking of, what is the thing that you are most focused on right now. So as you listen to these messages, hopefully you'll be able to recognize yourself more easily. Okay, we have the Raven, magic, coincidence, synchronistic events, harmony, the Duchess, positive movement forward, and focus. Okay, pile number 2. These 2 cards here, I want to group those together because I feel a connection between those. We have the magic, coincidence, synchronistic events, and the Duchess. And these seem to be hinting at you noticing certain patterns or things that you maybe didn't notice before. And especially with the Raven energy, it seems like there could be signs or certain symbols that you are noticing more and more around you, especially as it comes to who you believe yourself to be now, or how you are in the process of discovering who you are now. And with the Duchess, there is this energy of finding lessons in everything that you have gone through and finding meaning in everything that you have experienced. So you are going over your past in a whole new way now, or you are starting to see things that you have experienced in your past in a whole other light. And there is something really eye-opening about it, I feel. Something that is possibly making it a lot easier for you to understand and make peace with the person that you are and the choices that you have made. We have this harmony card here, which coincides with the tarot card of the Lovers. But I'm actually feeling this harmony on the one hand with you and, again, the family that you come from, or the background that you have, or your lineage in general. But also, again, finding this sense of peace and harmony with who you feel that you are at your core. So getting more in touch with this truly intimate and special part of yourself, where you recognize something unique about yourself. And I feel like this making peace with yourself and making peace with your past is coming from the fact that you are now seeing things in a different light, or that you have come to certain realizations, or that you have gotten some sort of information that has opened up all of these doors for you. Because we also have positive movement forward and focus. And these 2 cards seem to go together as well, because it does seem like where your focus is at right now is on trying to move forward and leave certain stuff in the past that maybe used to weigh you down, or that used to keep you stuck in the past in some sense, because there was something that you couldn't let go of, or that you couldn't make peace with previously. But now, as you are able to process certain things and make sense of certain things in a whole other light, and maybe even realize or give meaning to some of the things that you have experienced, understanding why you had to go through them, why you couldn't have made any other decision that you made, there is something really soothing about that. And again, it seems to be giving you this motivation and this sense of like propelling you forward. That is really, really beautiful. And I feel that it's also giving you a sense of hope for things to become better and for you to make more aligned and more aware choices now. And I also feel like you are starting to focus on your future a lot more than you have in the past, because yeah, it feels like there was a lot of focus on the past and just sort of going through the motions day by day, not really like planning for the future too much. But you seem to be changing gears here and realigning much more towards what is ahead for you in the future. So there seems to be this beautiful shift in energy that you are going through. Now, if you recognize yourself in this description, pile number 2, then it is a very good chance that this is your pile. And, or I should say, most likely this is your pile. So definitely stick around for these tarot card messages, as we are now looking at what it is that you are outgrowing. So let's see. Okay. So we have the 5 of Swords, the 8 of Coins, and the 4 of Wands, with the Moon coming out as the underlying energy. And as always, I'm going to point out some of the zodiac signs that are coming out over here, so that if you resonate with these signs in a very profound way, like if they are significant signs, as in your moon, your rising, or your sun sign, then it may be further confirmation that you are watching the right pile. So first off, with this harmony card, we do have Gemini coming out quite strongly. And with the moon, we have Pisces. We also have Aquarius, Virgo, and Aries. Okay, pile number 2. With these 3 cards coming out over here, you seem to be outgrowing this need to conform to certain family norms or expectations, especially ones that push you in a corner in some way, or where you haven't had that much of a say in the matter, and yeah, where you have just kind of obliged regarding what your family and again, your heritage, or what is sort of expected of you, or what is demanded of you, or even if it's not quite that dramatic, it just feels like that you are outgrowing doing certain things without putting up a fight, even if those things that you are doing, again, maybe simply to please your family, or to make your parents happy, or to make your significant other happy, or, you know, whatever the case is specifically, it just seems like you have maybe sacrificed yourself, or oppressed certain parts of you that haven't been exactly happy with some of these routines, or some of the activities that you have taken on for the sake of someone else. Especially with the 5 of Swords, again, I do feel very strongly that for some of you this has been pushed upon you, but for others of you it just feels like this is sort of a self-defeatist type situation, or where you maybe have again, like, given up without a fight, and just like said yes to things that maybe on the inside, like this 5 of Swords, made you a bit angry, or you know, not that happy. And especially with the moon being the underlying energy here too, I feel this overwhelming sense of emotion coming through with the moon card, where on the one hand it feels like you haven't dared to express what is truly going on within you, and it may have gotten you to some really dark places that have been difficult to overcome. But on the other hand, you are outgrowing this place, or this pattern of simply saying yes to things, or simply bowing down just because you don't know how people are going to react if you refuse. The moon can also talk about fears being really prevalent, and, you know, all of these shadows making things bigger than they really are, like blowing things out of proportion, where we can start projecting all of these worst case scenarios that exist in our minds, and think that that is how things are going to go, without realizing that maybe we are seeing things in much more dire tones than they really are. So again, the moon is all about illusions, our mind playing tricks on us, where we may be completely deluded about something and not even aware of it, right? So that seems to be something that you are outgrowing here, where you are not just blindly giving in to some of these fears or some of these unknowns, and giving in without even trying, without even expressing yourself truthfully when something doesn't sit right with you, when something is against what you feel. And for some of you, I mean, this is definitely a very specific message, but with the 8 of coins and this 4 of wands, it feels like some of you are actually in a profession or in a career path that is very clearly tied to your family, or that maybe is a family business. Maybe you were pushed into a certain career path or some sort of study that your family wanted you to choose, but that actually doesn't talk to you at all. It doesn't do anything for you. So it's coming back to this whole notion of maybe being afraid of expressing yourself truthfully or saying how you truly feel about things. And and I feel like it's something that you seem to grow out of, where you start respecting your own wishes a lot more and not being afraid to say no. And again, this feels definitely like a more of a specific message, but for some of you, there seems to be this pattern or this dynamic that exists with your family, or with like very close relationships in your life, but most likely family, where you seem to constantly end up in these really heated arguments and really like toxic atmospheres with each other when you get together. And it seems to be this thing that just like constantly repeats every single time that you get together. And again, it seems like especially with the moon, there could be this tendency to like not break the dynamic, or to not say something and draw attention to how unhealthy it is, or how things should be done differently, so that there wouldn't be this massive blowout. And I feel like, if you recognize yourself in this, and if you recognize your family dynamic in this, then it seems like there is definitely this boldening, or this almost like rising above it, getting to a place where you can actually break the mold, where you can draw attention to how this dynamic is not working the way that it is, and how something has to be changed, and actually pointing out what seems to be wrong. You know, like and not just following the same cycle over and over again. So yeah, that's definitely something that I feel for someone out there. But let's move on and let's see what it is that you are getting ready for. Whoa, okay. So we have, let's see what this one is. Okay, we have the 4 of Cups coming out first. We also got the 6 of Coins and the 8 of Cups, with the 7 of Swords as the underlying energy coming out in reverse. So we have, let's see who we have over here. So we have Cancer. We also have Pisces. We have Taurus, and we have Aquarius. See, I feel like I'm just going to breeze over these cards, because I feel like it's kind of going over everything that we were just talking about. With the 7 of Swords in reverse being the underlying energy, you are definitely getting ready to spill some truths, to actually reveal what is truly going on, and possibly open up some other people's eyes as well, and almost like make them confront the truth that they are trying to deny or ignore or, you know, just pretend that doesn't exist. And with the Four of Cups, the Six of Coins, and the Eight of Cups here, I feel like you are getting ready to actually share with the people that are tied up in this whole scenario what is truly making you unhappy, or where you feel that something is missing in your life, where you feel like it's not what you want it to be or what you expected it to be, and kind of following your own path here with this Eight of Cups, going after it, going after what you actually want, and starting on the journey, getting ready to explore and find out what would truly speak to you on a more personal level. And so, yeah, that's really what I feel here, because there is all of this overwhelming water energy, which means that the secrets that you are revealing, or that this truth that you are opening up, is heavily, heavily tied to your feelings. And yeah, I also feel like it's tied to the things that mean a lot to you, that have some sort of personal significance. So yeah, as I said, I that's really what I feel. And even though, you know, there isn't that much else to say about it, because it just feels like such a straightforward message, don't be fooled into thinking that this is some sort of easy breezy message. There is so much oomph behind it. I feel like it's such a powerful move that has the potential to really shift some like massively long-standing dynamics or patterns that exist, and that can really set you free as well. That's something what I feel with this Eight of Cups. I feel like huge liberation. So yeah, hopefully that came across. But anyway, pile number 2. Let's close the reading out with some messages from the message jar. If you are not completely new to my channel, then you may have seen this in some of my older videos. I don't use it that often, but every now and again I feel called to take it out or to get it off my shelf. So let's see, what is it that Spirit wants you to know to close this reading out? Okay. So let's see what we have. A fresh pair of eyes is needed. Seek counsel. Okay, so yeah, I mean, it may do you some good to speak to someone who isn't involved in this situation, because I feel like it's a very closed sort of circle of people that are involved in this, and someone who isn't a part of it, someone who is a completely neutral third party or outside of the situation, they may actually give you some good insight as well, or something to consider that maybe you didn't even see before. So yeah, maybe something to think about. We also have, there is a fine line between infatuation and obsession. Tread carefully. Okay, so I feel like this is just a friendly little reminder that, you know, there are extremes and like these healthy and unhealthy aspects of everything, right? There is always this spectrum. And even if you are doing something that is really amazing and that has really, really good intentions, there is always the danger of going a bit overboard or getting too deeply sucked into it. Especially like, maybe this is more of a specific message, but I feel for those of you who maybe have some sort of bone to pick with, again, with your family, with your lineage, with your ancestors, something like that, you could be trying to dig up something that would explain, like, again, some of your own shortcomings or something that you don't like about yourself. And I feel like it could be a really tricky place, or like a very slippery slope. And again, especially if you have a bone to pick with a specific family member, or trying to understand why they acted in a certain way, or why they did something to you. I feel like that there is this danger of just going way too deep into this and not necessarily finding the answer that would make you happy. You know, so if that is you, if you are recognizing yourself right now, then, just be careful and mindful of not getting lost and not getting sucked into this rabbit hole too deeply. Okay, let's see what we also have. This quote-unquote mistake was necessary. Without it, a valuable lesson could not have happened. Yeah, oh my God, I love this message for you so much. Oh, and by the way, if you are thinking or wondering why I am not showing these messages more up close, it's because the camera just doesn't really zoom in on those. They are clearly too small or something. So I'm just, I've given up trying. But yeah, I love this message because, again, it seems to confirm that everything that you have experienced was part of the journey. It was meant to take you to this place that you are at right now, so that you could make these discoveries and that you could understand things better. And clearly you were meant to learn something really, really valuable, really important, that may even take you someplace where you can't yet understand where it's going to take you. Oh, and this last message, oh my God, you are more loved than you realize. This is such a sweet reminder, and I know it may be a bit cliche, and sometimes we hear that universe loves you and spirit loves you and God loves you, or whoever you resonate with. But it just falls a bit flat. But I feel like in this instance, especially if you have really strained or very difficult relationships with your family, then I feel like this is just such a valuable reminder that you are more loved than you realize, and you are exactly who you are meant to be, because there is a reason for it. Wow, pile number 2. What a reading. I hope that you got something from these messages, that it was useful to you. By the way, if you are still here and you made it all the way to this point, leave me a little tree emoji in the comment section. And that way I would know that you are still here and that you made it all the way through and that this reading spoke to you. I absolutely love seeing you in the comment section and I love connecting with you. So I really, really hope to see you there. But I also hope to see you back on the channel next Friday for some more messages, insight and fun. And in the meantime, please take care of yourselves, pile 2, and be good and be kind to yourself. Bye-bye. Hello and welcome to your reading pile number 3. My name is Helen and I am so thankful that you have found your way to me and that you have chosen to spend this time with me. So thank you so much for being here. Now let's jump straight to the card that you chose, which is this chamomile card, and I'm going to feel my way through it intuitively. So what I'm feeling here, pile number 3, is that you seem to be in a space where you're trying to bring more zen and relaxation into your life. I'm also feeling that there could be all of these other people who may want some sort of peaceful energy or grounding energy from you as well. I'm looking at all of these other flowers that are surrounding this card, and it almost feels like they are trying to soak in this energy that is wafting off of you. So it feels like they are trying to get some sort of peace of mind from you, and so that may be adding extra pressure on you, even more so than you are already feeling just by the day-to-day hassle and everything that you are dealing with on a mundane level. So it does seem like, because this card talks about being on the brink of burnout, it does seem like you are trying to come up with different ways to relax or to unwind or to, again, bring more zen into your life so that you wouldn't completely burn out. But I do feel that you definitely are feeling this sense of being on the edge here, where things are sort of starting to take a toll on you. Maybe you are preparing for some vacation or time off work, but it almost feels like it cannot come quickly enough or soon enough. And you don't seem to have that much energy reserves left. It feels like you have been squeezed dry just by everything and anything, like all of these things that you have to take care of anyway. But then again, I don't know why, but this message of like other people like wanting things off of you, or maybe, you know, even if it's not actually even that dramatic, even if they are not actually like asking a lot of you, it just feels like because you are so like on your last leg, so to say, it feels a lot more overwhelming than it would normally. So even just like, again, socializing or reaching out to people or listening to other people's issues or problems or rants or whatever, even that may be a bit too much for you to handle right now. Yeah, it just feels like you are trying to get some peace and quiet or something that would help you just zone everything out so that you wouldn't have to be in that mess of energies. So yeah, pile number 3, that is what I am feeling intuitively off of this card. But let's also look at these oracle cards. So if you are not 100% sure that this is your pile, stay tuned, because these cards are going to describe what is your current general state of mind. So as we get to see what is going on in your mind, what are you thinking of the most, what is worrying you, or all of that, hopefully it will be a lot easier for you to make sense that, you know, whether this is your pile or not. So let's see. We have truth, balance, playing croquet, conflict and defeat, and nourishment, abundance, asking, receiving. Okay. Pile number 3. I am going to start off with these 2 cards because we have truth and this balance card coming out, and this balance card is actually connected to the justice card in tarot. So as the justice card, it actually also talks about truth in one context. So clearly the concept of truth is a very important one right now, because I feel like you are almost forced to face this knowing, this understanding that is slowly but surely creeping up within you, where you cannot really outrun the truth anymore. You cannot ignore it anymore. And it's again, it seems to be regarding how things are incredibly out of balance for you, or how sort of tired and just completely drained you are. And I feel like this balance, again, it seems to talk about the imbalance that exists with what you are doing. I feel like there's a lot of focus on work and your career. Like you seem to put a lot of yourself and a lot of your emphasis and energy and focus on your work, your career, your like what you do for a living. And like it is a very admirable thing, don't get me wrong. It's good to be motivated, it's good to be driven, but it's also important not to get too sort of sucked into that soul aspect of life and forget about everything else. That's really what I feel here, that you are definitely getting to this point where you cannot ignore the imbalance that exists. And see, the interesting thing is that we have this playing croquet card in the center, and this is all about being in a situation that you cannot win, where this whole situation is rigged against you. And it really is this point now where you kind of have to make a firm decision whether you want to push yourself to this breaking point and just like put your head down and force yourself to hang in there for as long as you can and try to accommodate everyone's demands and everyone's wishes and kind of do this people-pleasing thing, or whether you don't want to play that game anymore, whether you say time out, I can't do this, I need some time off, and kind of choose yourself. So that is really the energy that I'm feeling off of this center card here, where you are trying to decide what you should do. Because see, we also have this conflict and defeat with nourishment, abundance, asking and receiving. Again, I feel a connection between these two cards in the sense that I feel like you are kind of losing the battle against this lack of nourishment that you are getting, and this conflict that is happening within you, where again you seem to try to decide what you should do or how you should handle this situation. You seem to be painfully aware what it is that you are asking and what it is that you are receiving, like how those two things are like not really aligned. And so yeah, it just feels like you are like, again, there is this mental conflict that you seem to be in, where I feel like you don't want to give up and you don't want to let people down, but I also feel like you can't magically make the energy appear from somewhere that, you know, if you just don't have the reserves and you don't have it in you to keep going the same way that you have been going, you're sort of starting to realize that that something is about to give. But that is what I am seeing from these oracle cards. If you recognized yourself and if this whole story made sense to you, then definitely stay tuned, because now we get to the tarot card portion and we are going to look at what it is that you are outgrowing. Okay, so we have the Star in reverse, the Ace of Wands, the Six of Coins, and the Four of Swords. Wow, the Six of Coins has been such an important card. I feel like it has come out in every single pile. So yeah, interesting that that sort of energy seems to be really prevalent all around. But anyway, coming back to your pile, we have some zodiac signs to look at as well, just in case it resonates for you. And that may be further confirmation that you are watching the right pile. So if these zodiac signs are either your sun, moon, or rising sign, then it's a very good indication that, again, this is your pile. So we have Libra coming out first off with this balance card. We also have Aquarius with the Star card. And actually we have even more Libra with the Four of Swords. So air sign energy seems to be quite important here, especially Libra or Aquarius. And we also have Taurus with the Six of Coins and some fire sign energy too. So this feels like such a straightforward answer. So I'm not going to spend too much time on these cards, because pile number 3, what these cards are saying, basically what you are outgrowing, is spreading yourself way too thin for the sake of meeting someone's requests or whatever someone may be asking of you. With the Six of sorry, these cards don't want to focus. With the Six of Coins here, it seems like there is this tendency to want to sort of give quite a lot of yourself and want to do good. And I find it interesting that we also get this Ace of Wands right next to it. So it does seem to hint at you giving out energy, you giving out your focus, your willpower, your attention, your fire. It seems to be the case that you are not necessarily giving people like physical assistance or like material or tangible assistance, but that you are very much giving them your life force, right? Your willpower. And with the Star card coming out in reverse, this is saying that you are potentially postponing or ignoring this downtime, this time for healing, this time for regeneration. And that is most likely something that you have been doing for quite a long time, or just something that has become this pattern almost. And with the Four of Swords being the underlying energy here, again, it seems to hint at the importance of rest, recovery, and just taking it a bit more easy so that you could get back to your full form. And I feel like ignoring that is something that you are starting to outgrow, where it becomes a lot more evident to you just how important your health and your well-being is. And I feel like there is especially an important notion here about realizing that there is always going to be more that people ask of you. Like, there is never going to be this place where they have enough, or where they don't need your advice anymore, where they don't need your help anymore, where they don't need your skills or your ideas or your solutions or whatever it is. In whatever capacity you are helping people, there is always going to be more to do. So that's why it's important to not spread yourself too thin, which I feel like you know very well. It almost feels like kind of silly to say, because I feel like it's something that you know so very well, because you have been here before several times where you have felt the consequences of spreading yourself way too thin. But somehow you constantly end up like back in this place, right? So it seems to be a difficult pattern to break, but it seems like with all of these cards here, it is something that you are starting to change now. So it feels like you are moving in the right direction. Now, another message that I feel is somewhat tied to people pleasing, and it's possibly not going to resonate for all of you, but some of you may recognize yourself in this, where especially with the Star in reverse and this Ace of Wands, you may be saying yes to certain projects or certain ideas, certain offers that don't actually like speak to you on a truly meaningful level. With the Star in reverse here, it feels like there may be instances where either, once again, you don't actually have the resources to take anything new on, or where this project that is being offered to you, let's say it's a project, it doesn't do it for you. It isn't the thing that you would actually want to do, because the Star in reverse can also talk about not following your North Star for the sake of, you know, something else that isn't quite as meaningful to you. So yeah, with this, and again with the Six of Coins, it may be that you are saying yes to some of these options that people are coming to you with. So even if you don't have the energy, even if you don't have the motivation, you may have been saying yes to certain things that you maybe actually shouldn't say yes to. And if that is something, again, if that is something that you recognize, then I feel like, again, you seem to be coming to a place where you are just going to sit those things out, where you are not going to react, where you're not going to get involved, right? If it's not actually truly aligning with what you would want to do. So yeah, that is something, pile number 3. But let's also see what is it that you are getting ready for. Oh my goodness, this is funny. So we have the Queen of Swords, the Three of Cups, and the King of Swords. So you are getting this counterpart energy, the female and male, or the masculine and feminine principles of the Swords suit. And we also have the Eight of Swords as the underlying energy. So zodiac sign wise, we again have Libra and Aquarius coming out super, super heavily, but we also have Gemini now. So every single air sign is coming out over here. And with the Three of Cups, we have some Cancer here coming out as well. Okay, so listen, I first off want to say that I feel that the energies of the Queen and the King of Swords coming out like this, with this Three of Cups in the middle, it seems to indicate you harmonizing or uniting these aspects of you, where this more receptive and feminine energy and this more assertive and masculine energy that both exist within you, you seem to be coming to a place where you are able to harmonize those That's one of the things that I feel. Now, I also feel, especially because the Three of Cups very often talks about your friends, your social group, the people that you hang out with, the people that bring you joy, that you socialize with. With the Queen of Swords and the King of Swords, again, flanking that card, it seems like you are setting some boundaries. Like you are actually going to be revealing your truth in a very clear-cut way, where you are able to more confidently set certain boundaries or let people know where you are at. Especially again, where you may be feeling like you just don't have the resources, where you don't have the will to deal with people's stuff, right? And even if it is not a big deal, even if it is some mundane stuff that people are dealing with and they just want to share it with you, I feel this resoluteness, I want to say, with the Queen and King of Swords. Sorry, I'm getting so tongue-tied. That you seem to start embodying more and more. I feel like because the Three of Cups is coming out upright, it's almost this place of, because of how you are able to express yourself in a very truthful manner, it almost seems to earn your friends' respect as well, where they see it. So it's like you may be worried about how people are going to react if you let them know that you don't have the energy or whatever, if you are actually upfront with them about how you are feeling and what is going on and things like that. You may be afraid of how they are going to react or what your relationship is going to become. But again, with this Queen of Swords sort of leveling up to this King of Swords, I feel like your friends are actually going to respect you for it, and the people are going to respect you for standing up for yourself and setting these boundaries. The last thing I want to say is the Eight of Swords being the underlying energy here. It just makes me think that what you're getting ready for is actually taking some time out. So this Eight of Swords is being in a place where you are not really moving forward, where you are just staying put where you are. And even though this card has mainly a negative rep, every single card in tarot has a positive aspect as well. And I feel like in this instance, it's simply talking about you getting to a place where you are forcing yourself to stay put, so that you wouldn't, again, so that you wouldn't end up in this place where you are burnt out or like completely drained, and where you need double the amount of time to recuperate, to get yourself back in shape. So yeah, pile number 3. What a cool transformation you seem to be going through. And I mean, I don't actually even feel like it's necessarily a transformation. It just seems that you are finding your voice and yeah, having more courage to actually express it. But let's close the reading out with some messages from the message jar. If you have seen my videos before, you may have seen this, but yeah, I mean, I haven't used it in a while. So anyway, I just felt like it was time to bust it out again. So let's see what sort of advice Spirit has for you to close this reading out with. Okay. So, okay. Oh my goodness. This feels like so on the nose that you cannot make this stuff up. We have a quote from Sam from The Perks of Being a Wallflower. You can't just sit there and put everyone's lives ahead of yours and think that counts as love. So I can't show you these quotes too up close because the camera doesn't really want to zoom in on them. The text is a bit too small for that, but hopefully you can see it okay. So this quote, as I said, feels like such a perfect one because clearly this whole reading has been all about you sacrificing yourself for other people. And I feel like Spirit is just wanting to give you a bit of a nudge and a bit of a kick up the butt to remind you that you can't just sacrifice your life and think that that's all you have to do to show the people around you that you love them and that you care about them, and let them know what they mean to you, because ultimately they need you, and they need you to be healthy and happy and able to function as well, right? Otherwise, what's the point? Okay, we also have a quote from, or by, Carl Fredricksen from the movie Up. Enjoy the little things in life, for one day you'll look back and realize they were the big things. So yeah, again, I feel like this is a really important reminder to slow down every once in a while and just do the fun things, just do the things that make you happy, that bring a smile on your face. And however childish, however silly they may be, however unproductive they may be, just do the things that bring you joy, because ultimately these little things are going to, again, they are going to be the big things one day. And so, yeah, you don't want to miss out on those. Okay, let's see. We also have, come back to your center. What's it all for? Oh my God, again, another one that feels super, super meaningful. So I feel like Spirit is just reminding you here, a friendly reminder, to kind of think back on what the true values are that you are operating from. Why are you doing all of the things that you are doing? Like, it's not saying that there is a right or wrong reason behind this question, or that there is a right or wrong answer. It's just about being aware what your true motivation is, and whether, when you actually think about it, it is ultimately worth all of it. So just something to consider. And the last one, you have a spiritual safety net around you right now. Go for it. So see, I feel like this go for it message is talking about taking the time out, and also potentially setting some boundaries with the people around you. If you resonate with the message of like people asking quite a lot of you, or you feeling drained by what is being asked of you or demanded of you. Yeah, it seems like Spirit is really having your back in this, and it seems like they are helping you along in going on this journey of setting some boundaries and taking care of yourself, your happiness, your well-being, your mental health, all of it. I feel like there is a deeper lesson embedded here. So go for it. But pile number 3, I'm going to leave it here. Thank you so much for spending your time with me and hanging out with me. I really, really hope that these messages gave you something useful. And by the way, if you are still here, leave me a little hedgehog emoji in the comment section, so that I would know that you made it all the way to this point and that you got something from this reading. I love connecting with you in the comment section, so I really, really hope to see you there. But I also hope to see you back on this channel next Friday for some more messages, insight, and fun. And in the meantime, please take care of yourselves, pile 3. Please be super kind and gentle with yourselves. Please take the time off that you need and be good. Bye-bye.